recording. All right, let's see here.
This is an official test. We're testing right now.
Testing.
We're just saying what works, what doesn't.
Yes.
And we're going to figure it out from there.
Yes. And there we go. All right. Now let's see here. Stop. And we're going to go live in 5, 4. Oh, you're over there. You're over there.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
And welcome everybody back to another review by Sky Guy Collectors. Chris here, and I'm joined with my co-host on this side.
Guys, it's Joe Daly. Oh wait, I have multiple. I can't have people know that it's me. It's Ro Nalio, and I am so excited to be here. Thank you guys so much. Hit the subscribe or something. Chris, did I do it too soon?
Oh, that was funny. I didn't know you were gonna do that. That was good. I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? I hit the wrong button. Holy crap.
Sorry.
These are the things that make the videos fun.
I'm having fun. Yes. I'm having a good time.
Yes.
We're still rolling though, right?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Guys, we're rolling. Sorry about that technical mishap. I don't plan my jokes ahead of time. I just... Oh, I got big hands. That's awesome.
You got a blue hand.
Okay.
You hanging out
with technology, guys. Oh, no. Boo.
Hulk. The Hulk.
All right, I don't like the big hands. Okay. Guys, Chris, thank you for co-hosting me officially as knighting. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited what we're going to talk about. I'm going to pass the reins right back to you.
All right, guys. So welcome back to the channel. Like we said already, in this episode, we are going to be reviewing The Batman. So spoilers right now. If you haven't seen The Batman, stop the video, go see The Batman, and then come back. All right. There will be slight spoilers. I don't think we're going to go too heavy into spoilers, I don't think, but because it's still fresh in our minds. I would like to see it again, hopefully. But slight spoilers. And also, guys, if you haven't already, please go get your grandma, go get your ma, go get your sister, or steal her iPad, and please hit the thumbs up.
Steal your sister's iPad.
Or, I don't know what they're using, iPhone.
How are they going to Tinder? Like, you don't even care. You've been married for so long that you don't even care about other people's romantic endeavors. Come on, Chris. Selfish.
So, please like and subscribe and hit notifications so you are notified next time we do another review like this. So, and also thank you again. We recently just hit 200. Now we're on the road to, we're hoping 1,000 by the end of the year. That would be great. 1,000 subs. That would be awesome. That'll be awesome.
You know what, guys? I am thinking we can actually probably do 40,000 subs probably by the end of 2 weeks. And I don't think that's shooting high because we can go viral on something completely stupid like, our blur out incident or, like celebrating a Batman movie by, having the Batusi ready. Batusi? What is that? I don't know what that is, but I want to be that person. Anyways, thank God we got rid of that. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about
right.
this.
So let's go. Let's get into this. The Batman. So, Joe, the first question is, what is your first reaction of the movie when you saw it?
It was very cinematic. Okay, I'm done with the effects. My first thought was it was pretty much what everybody was, kind of anticipating it to be. It was a very back to basics Batman, but like, back to comic basics. Now once again, I don't know the comics as well as other people, but I was able to pick up on a lot of the references they were doing. I like that they didn't do the origin. Personally, I don't know how many times we can see the Batman origin because we've seen it in almost every single movie. The fact that they even said Martha, which I'll be honest, Chris, I don't know why they said that name. But the fact that they even said that was, I promise I'm done. But the whole movie, I felt it had a really great vibe. It went into different ways. It was unexpected. It hit beats that other Batman movies haven't. I love the noir theme. I don't know if I said that word right. I loved the Batsuit. I can't really give you an opinion on Robert Pattinson as Bruce Wayne though, because this was the first movie I think where we saw more Batman than Bruce Wayne.
Yes,
which was great, but I thought they were going to go so ultra realistic that it didn't feel like a Batman movie, kind of like where I thought Nolan was going, and they had to make it seem like it was real world, but they kind of didn't. They kind of still leaned into it, but in a very natural way. So overall, I thought it was great. Is it my favorite Batman movie of all time? It's going to be tough. I'm like you. I've got to see it again. Well, what did you think overall?
I do back you up on those points. I'm still speaking of the Batsuit. I'm not a fan of the Batsuit yet, and I like you're eating your popcorn out of his. I'm not liking the Batsuit yet, but it was growing on me as the movie was progressing, which I liked. It was a very dark movie. Like everything, I like to hear the soundtrack match the theme of the movie, and the theme of the movie was dark. This is only year 2 of him being Batman, because you saw that on the Notebook when he's writing down. Yeah. That's what I love about this movie compared to other ones. It is taking track of what happened in the comics. He's writing. He's a detective. That's his main task as a hero, as this superhero, is being a detective, and we got to see that. We got to see him being a detective. In other movies, they kind of got away from it, or they gave just a small speck of what he does as Batman.
Right.
Hence, he comes from Detective Comics, so he has to be a detective. That's what I envision. Movie was, from beginning to end, was a good pace. At times, it lagged a little bit. I do have a problem with the movie being close to 3 hours. I think it was a little too long in some aspects. Going into it, I'm not a big fan of Robert Pattinson, so I don't know how well. I'm hoping they're going to continue. I hope this is a trilogy, because they kind of opened it up to be another movie, but not a trilogy. But he was an alright Batman. Like you said, he didn't have the switch off from being Batman and being Bruce Wayne. And if you're a fan of the comics, that's how the comics were when he was, I believe, the comic run and the cartoon movie, Batman Year One. That's how it was.
Right.
He had a hard time switching it off. I saw hints of that comic series and movie series, and also Batman Hush. I heard that was kind of what the director was using when he was putting this movie together. But overall, it was a good pace, good action, and I was a little iffy of having a lot of villains. But actually, it all gelled together pretty nicely in the end, which was good.
Yeah, well, I mean, the issue with too many villains is do they serve the story, or is it fan service? Mm-hmm. Spider-Man No Way Home was 100% fan service, but it was on the nose. That's what it was meant to be. There, you didn't really need logic for that. But when you start taking the Batman movies going forward from the original 1989 one, The two villains per movie was just a way to it was just like, how can we bring them together that that doesn't seem stupid, but we can sell more toys.
Yeah.
Even Catwoman and the Penguin in the original in Batman Returns, it didn't seem organic even for that universe. And then they just went forward with every movie, two villains, and then they team up. This was very organic. They told a crime story that reminded me of Nolan. Bringing it back to Falcone. I don't know that the whole Catwoman angle with Falcone, that canon, or was that just in like an elsewhere, like an Elseworld story?
I think start of a new line of comics, she was actually the daughter.
Okay.
That it's a good. I mean, we know the story of Batman and Catwoman.
Right.
We know it. For them to throw a little curveball and change it up a little bit, it was a good feel, because then it's new for everybody. It's not like, this is going to get into my next question, but my wife sitting next to me, she goes, "Why is it always raining in Gotham?" It's supposed to be raining in Gotham. Gotham's doom and gloom city. That's the way it is.
Sunny at the end.
Well, sunny for a new horizon, I would say that's coming. Now, this leads into my next question. What did you think of the plot of the movie? The two-part question. What do you think of the plot of the movie? Was there anything missing from your point of perspective?
So I thought the plot of the movie was actually really, I thought it was really good. I dug the Riddler being a psychopath, and I did see the parallels to the Hush storyline a little bit, which I didn't see then. I saw it now because I literally an hour ago watched the animated version of that storyline, which surprised me. I didn't actually see that as the ending, but seeing that side of the Riddler was like just it was great. I thought it was a phenomenal take on the character. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to tell you 100%. I do think there have been better versions. I'm not. Nobody comes to mind, but.
Like the jacket? It keeps me safe when I'm jogging at night.
But it was a phenomenal. I thought the story was really great. It melted together. Yeah, too long, but it went into different, unexpected territories. I didn't get bored at all. I did start to get. Yeah, I did get to start a little weary, and it felt like it had some some you thought it was over and it really wasn't moments. Mm-hmm. So it started to feel anticlimactic, and then it wasn't, and then you realize, oh, this is the end. Then it almost felt anticlimactic. So I'm not 100% sure of the execution. There's a lot of people out there, like IGN rated this a masterpiece at 10.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they could do that. I saw that too. I'm like, and we'll give our rating at the end. I want to save our rating at the end, but I'm with you on that one. I question that rating of a 10. I don't know if it was deserving.
But as a film, cinematography, the effects, the Batmobile, I actually really liked the Batsuit because it reminded me of Arkham. Like it looked like it was really ripped from the Arkham games.
The collar. I think the collar's killing it for me. If he didn't have the collar, then I think it would be cool. Like in Arkham, there was no collar. But I do get what you're saying with the similarities of Arkham.
Yeah, the plating, the gauntlets, the helmet was its own thing. Once we can see from my snack again, I mean, it does kind of like have like a leather thing, but it was really, really tight. Mm-hmm. So when it was on, it kind of almost looked disproportionate. So the cowl was not my favorite cowl, but it did also seem more. Mm-hmm. It seemed like the most natural cowl they've ever made. Like this works. He didn't look like he had any problems turning his head, which they call. I love that they called that out in The Dark Knight Rises. Yes. So it seemed very functional, and it seemed realistic.
Like to go along with you, I believe the plot was good. It was a good plot point. I'm going to say this again, and people tend to overlook this as a character of a movie, but Gotham looked like Gotham from the comic books. I mean, having to immerse yourself in this Gotham City the way it was, I was like, okay, this is Gotham. You know, they didn't spend too much time like showing it, but when you got to see it in the background of the characters, I was like, okay, this is Gotham. It's raining all the time. You know, it's not a happy place. You know, it's not a happy city all the time. You know, that was good. Missing, I think missing. There wasn't, to me, not so. It's a good movie. It's a good rewrite of Batman. I'm not gonna say rewrite.
Right.
A good representation of Batman. It was good. I like that they're going back to the comic. They're sticking to the comic because, you know, a lot of us as fans, that's what we know and love. Like, for me, the best comic books growing up were Batman comics and Superman comics. They were a little bit better than Marvel.
Right.
I like the darkness of it because Batman is supposed to be dark. And, you know, we're going down the Riddler. Riddler remind me of the Riddler from Arkham. The way he acted. I'm a little iffy on the mask of the Riddler.
Yeah.
But I understand why he wore the mask in the movie. I get
so that. I was reading an interview from the director, and that was actually Paul Dano's choice to do that. Like, he came in and he's just like, I don't want to show my face. I don't think I should. Like, I don't think there should be anything. I don't think it should be hooded. So he like that was his own like spin on it, which, you know,
which is cool.
Get that man some help.
An actor coming in and saying that, so that's cool. Paul Dano, excellent Riddler, excellent. Yeah. He played a real psychotic person. Like that's what I like about the movie. It made you feel like it could take place in real life, which is you got to have that relation between real life and the comic book world. So. That was.
Can we talk about Catwoman though? Like I actually was surprised. I knew they were bringing her in. Obviously they put it in there, but it's just like, okay, well, how's she going to add to the story? I thought she did a phenomenal job.
I'm with you that one. Going into the movie from the commercials. Now, commercials, I like what they did with the commercials. They repeated a lot of the same stuff in the commercial, so you didn't get new stuff every time a trailer came out. So when the trailers came out. But she was very iffy for me too. And you could ask my wife, I said, I don't see her as a Catwoman.
Yeah.
But she brought it home. Actually, I take it back. She was a good Catwoman. She did act like the Catwoman that was in the comics. Like, down to the T. She was good. I wish they showed more of Alfred. Alfred plays a big role with Batman.
You know, I mean, I'm so disappointed because obviously there's spoilers. So Alfred gets into a tiff in the film where he's injured, you know, and they think he's going to die. And I'm sitting in the theater and I'm just like, you know, doing this to him and being like, and nobody's getting my Precious references and nobody's realizing that Alfred's Smeagol and I'm hating life. This is a true story. But I thought that's the other thing. I think Smeagol, what's his name? Oh my gosh, why did I forget Smeagol's name? What's wrong with us? He's Ruben Fleischer. Andy Serkis, not Ruben Fleischer. I got confused with that because he directed Volume. Yeah. He directed Venom 1 and Andy Serkis directed Venom 2, which wasn't great, but we already talked about that. Okay, going back. We're taking it back. I'm getting off track. Great. I thought Alfred was great. I thought Catwoman. I thought she was the best Catwoman we've ever had. Number one, because the first Catwoman, obviously Michelle Pfeiffer, but it was over embellished because it was meant to be. That was the style. So we never actually got into who the character was, and they made up their own stupid origin with it. And we had, you know, Christopher Walken be like, "Somebody crosses me, I push them out high window." But you know, I know that was a little Arnold Schwarzenegger missing there too. But it's hard to do Walken with a fast thing. I do anything for my friend Chip. No, I can't. My son Chip. It's done. Never mind. Sorry, Arnold.
No, I understand. Like the character. Like that was my next question. What do you think of the characters? One character that blew me away, and you couldn't see his natural physique in the costume, was Colin Farrow as Penguin.
Oh my gosh.
That did not look like Colin. Like, usually in character, you see a hint of the person, the actor that's behind the character. But, man, his makeup and everything. And he was a good penguin. I like to see that.
Yeah.
And
He was
that's
a
like
great
an
penguin.
origin. And it's an origin story for him, too. Because now, I believe in the next movie, he's going to try to rise in power after Carmine Falcone. Now, a miss for me was John Turturro as Carmine Falcone. I think you could got a. He's known as a funny character in other movies. It just didn't come across. You know, when I see him, I think of Sector 7. As soon as I saw it, I thought, where the Transformers coming from? You know,
Right.
You know, that was a miss of characters for me. You know,
I was thinking of Mr. Deeds with
Yes.
Adam Sandler, where he played the rich butler. So
Very good, sir.
I was looking over. I was looking over to the person I was with. I was just like, I like feet. I do not know why.
yeah, it's just that was a miss. But all the characters, like Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon, was excellent. Was excellent, and you know, we are building a new character look at all these characters because it's its own movie. I like the segue. I like the segue of when the Riddler's in Arkham, and then
Right.
you hear somebody talking, and that's the Joker. You know, you have to have the Joker where there's Batman. I'm sorry, wherever.
Yeah.
If you have Batman and Joker, you gotta have one and the other simultaneously.
You know, I really thought because they were even using the same fonts as the Joker movie, I thought it was going to be. I thought they were going to somehow sandwich Yoquan into it. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I thought Phoenix was going to get into the mix because the aesthetic, and then when the fonts matched on the TV show, because the TV show even looked like it was from his universe, but it actually wound up being the stinking guy from the Eternals.
Yes.
Mr. Mind Control.
Barry
Allen.
Kogan?
No.
Kogan?
Yeah,
Kogan?
Kogan. Yeah.
Kogan?
Kogan's Heroes.
Yeah. But it wasn't bad. It was actually pretty, because when the Joker when he talks normal. And then all of a sudden you get that sinister laugh. Like, my wife looks at me and you know, she goes, "Who the hell's that?" I'm like, "That's the Joker." You know, and then, you know, I didn't mention, but Luis is not here. He couldn't make it for this episode, and he was actually a few rows behind me. And at the end, he goes, he thought that was Two-Face. I was like, no, that's not Two-Face. Two-Face doesn't.
You thought
laugh.
that was Two-Face?
He thought.
Did they see the you saw the silhouette of his, like, kind of like, you know,
Yeah, like
like
a
makeup
smile.
almost face? Yeah.
But he
like
said
it
the
was
hair.
caked.
He saw the hair, but the hair is starting to look more like what the comic book hair is supposed to look like. So I like how they did that, and they're setting up for the next movie. And also, when you have the Riddler, yes, you have each individual riddles, but each individual riddle leads up to one big riddle. That's what I love about it. And my wife goes, "How's the movie supposed to end like this? There was no clues of it." He's like, "Yes. Every clue was a clue for the ending. He's always going after something bigger than what he was like. He goes after little things, but there's always a bigger picture in his mind, which is
Now,
cool.
do you think one of the big plot points had to do with Batman's parents and their past and stuff like that? So it was revealed that Martha was, you know, like, you know, in an insane asylum, and then Thomas was just trying to protect her. But do you think that was like a call to, like, you know, the Dark Knight Returns, where you know, not the Dark Knight Returns, what am I thinking? Flashpoint, where Martha was like turned into the Joker, like kind of like a hint that she was always crazy
Yeah,
and could snap.
I like the spin-off where, you know, in every family there is a dark spot in the family's point in life. I like that. So the Waynes are not perfect. Pretty much the Waynes contributed to a lot of the corruption that is happening in that city.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't on purpose. So I like that, and it builds the backstory of Batman, because he's supposed to be a beacon of, you know, justice.
Right.
And is he doing it for the right reasons? And that's hence, in the beginning of the movie, he goes, he is vengeance. And then he hears the Riddler say he's vengeance. And then he takes another look at, oh, maybe that's the wrong look I have. So you're seeing a development of Bruce Wayne as a young man. He's kind of young still, and he's maturing as he's going. He's learning. You know, getting back to Alfred, if they would have shown Alfred trained him in fighting. I would have loved to see that. You know.
Yeah.
We really haven't seen that. The only time we actually saw that was if you watched Gotham on Fox. That's
right.
when you got to see that. I kind of liked that, and Gotham was good, but it kind of got a little out of hand towards the end of the of that TV series.
Right.
But Alfred plays a big pivotal role in developing Bruce Wayne. And I still also like the factor of his gadgets. Like, when you go into a Batman movie, there's two things that have to stand out to you. Him being a detective, and all his cool gadgets, man.
Where does he get those wonderful toys?
All his cool... And they didn't focus on the gadgets too much, but he started pulling out different gadgets as he was going along. And the one that threw me for a loop was that serum that he jammed in his arm, and all of a sudden it became Bane. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and that was probably like a callback, and if they want to use it in the future, they will. But maybe like a early version of the Venom that he uses. At first, I thought it was adrenaline, but like no, it was green.
Yeah, it was green. Yeah, that was the Bane juice. You know, and he beat the crap out of that guy. And you saw Catwoman; she looked at him like, and that's the thing. He didn't kill anybody, but he almost killed everybody that he beat the crap out of. So now he's seeing that now. Now he has to draw that line now. That I can't go over that line anymore because everybody saw it, which I like. So, what's your final thoughts on?
I mean, it's a great movie. Great movie, 100%. So, like, you know, it's just comparison to other things. There's a few things I didn't like, but like, I can't say that I didn't like. I'm gonna give it a 9. Actually, I'm gonna give it a 9 because it was just it was filmed so great. There's so many great actors. The story was great. The pacing was the only thing that I'm really going to give it. Like, because of the narrative, I'm not going to say Robert Pattinson was a bad Bruce Wayne or a great Bruce Wayne or a great character, because I would say he's a great Batman, because that's the character we were seeing. We were seeing the actual and Riddler makes a point of that. He's just like, this is how you be your actual self. You know, the mask, and they did that. They made that note at the end of Batman Begins, like Bruce Wayne is the mask. Mm-hmm. So as far as Bruce Wayne playing the character, Robert Pattinson playing the character, Robert Pattinson played the character really well. We just didn't see the duality yet because he doesn't really know how to do that. And they adjust to it. Like, if you look at these little complaints, they are actually addressed in the film. Mm-hmm. A little long, but the story never was overdrawn. Yeah, 9. It's a 9. It's a 9 for me. I thought it was great.
I'm with you. It was a very good movie. I do recommend everybody to go see it. It's a very good movie. Do you know if they're going to drop it on HBO Max?
HBO Max will be 45 days, so we'll get that at the end of April. That's the rollout for this one.
I probably will wait till that comes out again. I do want to see it again. It deserves that. With you, I will also give it a 9. It was a good movie. The pace you need to pick up, but they are giving a lot of fan service. That's what I like about it. They're listening to us. You know, right. In a lot of other movies, directors really didn't care what we thought. They had a vision and they went with it, no matter how good, bad, or the ugly it was.
Well, let's be honest. They haven't screwed up a Batman movie since 1997. Mm-hmm. You know, yeah. They got that figured out. Combining it with the bigger universe is one thing, but like still, a story aside, I would have still loved to see what Zack Snyder would have done with just a Batman movie.
Mm-hmm. I think he would have done. He would have done awesome, and I think we would still have Ben Affleck. I think Ben Affleck would have stayed on as Batman. Yeah. You know, going into that, I was iffy with Ben Affleck being Batman, but he played a good Batman. Same with Robert Pattinson. I was very iffy because my wife's a big Twilight fan, and I just saw him in Twilight. I haven't seen any of his other movies. You know, I didn't go, but I heard his other movies leading up to the Batman. His acting has gotten better, because I felt like he couldn't act in Twilight, like he overdid it. But he even states in a lot of interviews that he was overacting when he had the Batman suit on, and his counterparts, the other actors around him, didn't notice that he was overacting. They thought he was acting beautifully in the movie, but he did pull off the Batman as a Batman that we can know and relate to. That's what I really like. But I do give it a 9. A 9, not a 10. IGN, I don't know what you're thinking. IGN, a 10. Come on now.
Because I mean, it's like, have you ever seen one of those crime movies that are just like, oh my god, that was such a great movie? But for me, metrics for a movie that's a 10 to me is rewatchability. You know,
yes.
How many times do I want to rewatch this? Is this a comfort movie? Is this a movie I want to pop in a million times? You know, a lot of people like, I was saying this to somebody else the other day. Avengers is not a great story, the original Avengers movie. But for me, it hits so many of the things that I just love. Nostalgia, humor, just like the perfect balance. It's in a normal rotation for me. So for me, like, it has to be more than just like, oh, that was I mean, Road to Perdition with Tom Hanks. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, that was a really great movie. I never want to watch it again. Joker, really great movie. So dark, never want to watch it again.
Now, if it's on TV, I would watch it. Like, if I'm going through the channel and there's nothing on and I see that, I'll put that on. You know, it's not like, I mean, it's hard to put this in the same realm as the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. But No Way Home, I'll watch that over and over and over again. It was a very good movie from beginning to end. This one, maybe if we had a part 2, then maybe I would watch it again.
Right.
Because I got to see how part 2 plays out. And can you say that DC is, or Warner Brothers and DC are actually starting to be consistent with their movies, or is it too early to tell?
I think it's way too early to tell. I mean, if they want a shared universe, I mean, the truth of the matter is they can get away with what they're doing. But they're damaging their brand long down the line, you know. And shared universes are going to be hard to kind of like keep together. So everybody's relying back on the multiverse theory. So like, if they make Flash really great, like if that's a really great movie, then the pathways, they can do whatever they want. But you know, as far as consistency and quality is concerned, they're still all over the map.
I'm still confused between. We're going to have Michael Keaton in the Marvel universe, and we have Michael Keaton in the DC universe. That's going to be a little weird. But I know in the DC universe, he's only doing this one-time role, and that's it. They're going to put his Batman aside, I think. No.
He's almost finished filming Batgirl.
Really, he's in Batgirl.
Yeah. He's in the Batgirl series, yeah, and he plays a primary role. Like, they're almost done filming it, but he's like one of the main characters in that. So we're getting a lot more than him. I think that the going forward is that is going to be the Batman for the shared universe, is Michael Keaton's Batman, which I kind of think is just like, there are people who have nostalgia for Michael Keaton's Batman. It was just never one of my favorite movies. And he was like, I'm not saying Michael Keaton's a bad actor. He was my least favorite Batman. Good Bruce Wayne.
For me, he was the first Batman on the big screen. So he holds a lot of weight in my heart as a Batman. He was a good Bruce Wayne. It's just, the directing of him as Batman was dying as the series was going. That's why he never ended up doing a third movie. Yeah. Because he's a good actor. And as Batman, he's good. I can't wait to see him in the Flash movie. That's going to be, when he comes out on screen, that is going to be.
I mean, he was no George Clooney.
No.
But like I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't allowed to see the original Batman in the theater, but when I did, sneak it in, I thought it was phenomenal. It was great. It was a big screen Batman or a small TV on VHS Batman, but it was still great. But like the Batman that like drew me in was you know, stinking the animated one, you know, the 90s animated series.
Yes.
And he's still like an iconic Batman voice. Kevin, oh my gosh, why can't I remember names today?
I just remember the Joker
Kevin.
because that was Mark Hamill.
Oh yeah,
Mark Hamill's an awesome
Kevin.
Joker for cartoons. He has that knack, man.
Oh yeah, and he's played it in a lighthearted but like dark and serious. Oh my gosh, so good. Like the Injustice games, which were just like phenomenally dark. I actually watched that one this morning too. I had a whole DC kick this morning on DC animations.
Like
I rewatched
I like
Injustice.
DC being dark. DC needs to keep that way. It needs to be dark and funny. Like with Peacemaker, was really funny. It was dark at times, you know, but more funny than dark. You know, I think that mantra, that for them, that's the way they should go and keep going. And I love their cartoons. I watch occasionally during the week. You know, I just recently watched The Long Halloween a couple weeks ago, which I never seen before.
That's next on my list.
Yeah, Long Halloween, really good. But I heard the actual comic. I forgot what's the big comic book. That's better than the actual cartoon. The actual book.
The Long Halloween comic book,
yes.
or
not the,
okay.
What's I forgot.
You're not talking about
you're
not talking about.
It's a comic book, but it's a thick comic book. I forgot what they call them.
Graphic novel.
Graphic novels. There you go. It was on the tip of my tongue. But graphic novels. That novel for Long Halloween is really good. The cartoon's good, but the graphic novel's better. Which is
the cartoons are hit or miss for me. I mean, sometimes they're phenomenal, sometimes they're hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I actually want to go back to the original one that was in big screens because I forgot how good that was. Mask of the Phantasm, like the original cartoon movie.
That was good.
But yeah, it's good, and I do like that they did an extended universe with that too, and they ended it. They ended that shared universe really dark.
Yes.
Like really dark.
Cool. All right, guys, that's our thoughts on The Batman. We give it a 9.
Ending really dark.
It was dark, and you know, again, sorry Luis couldn't be here, but you know, he'll make the next one. I think the next one for us is going to be Moon Knight. Moon Knight's a couple weeks away, so we'll give our reaction on the first episode like we normally do. Looking forward to that.
I gotta be really careful with my Moon Knight jokes. Really careful.
You know, like being a nerd, coming into this year, we're getting a lot, and I hope it keeps going. There's a lot of shows and movies for the next 4 or 5 years. So, but guys, thank you for joining us. This is Chris, and I'll see you in the next video.
Guys, this is Joe, and I really got to use the bathroom, so this is me signing off.
There's something coming in. I don't know what it is.
I'm having screen problems again.
I mean, I don't know what the producers are saying. There's a transmission coming in. They don't know if it's a Luis or not. All right, we'll cut to that. See you guys in the next video.
Are we still cutting?
Yeah, we're gonna cut. We're gonna cut.
We're cut. We're cut.
Yeah, and I'm gonna stop recording.
Hey guys, it's your boy Luis. I'm so sorry that I couldn't be there with you guys, but I know my boy Chris and Joe are holding it down, talking about this new movie Batman with Robert Pattinson. Definitely exciting. I'm gonna give my initial thoughts. I would say I came into the movie not knowing anything. I only saw one trailer. I didn't look at any reviews. I didn't look at nothing. So I went in blind, and I put my expectations low for a DC movie. I'm not gonna lie. But my initial thoughts after the movie, it was really good. I am not gonna lie. I am blown away with Robert Pattinson's acting. Going from Twilight to this, vampire to a bat, I guess the same, but yeah, I was kind of blown away that he really can act. No disrespect to Robert Pattinson at all, but I think that was my initial thought, was like, whoa, this kid can act. And I really, and I was telling Chris this, the movie reminded me of the games of Arkham, the Arkham games, especially with all the gadgets and everything, which is, for me, was what I like to see. I like to see Batman being a detective, showing his brains, you know. Batman's not all about, I guess, power or strength, even though he's not super strong. Like, he can fight. Like, he is a freaking master at all different types of fighting styles, but he's not really super strong. I mean, he gets his butt kicked by Bane a lot of times, and he can't beat Superman in terms of strength. But we got to see his intelligence, which is what makes Batman different from every other superhero. His ability to prepare, his ability to solve problems on the fly, his ability to use his gadgets when needed, and also, like, he's evolving. I really enjoyed that. We really got to see Bruce really dive deep into this detective mode. We even got to see him look at a superhero a little bit differently. You know, in the beginning, he saw it as, you know, this is vengeance. And at the end, he's like, I don't know if this is the... He saw it. It's like, man, I don't think my motto that I'm vengeance is a good motto. What I liked is... From the movie, what I liked is that we got to see a lot of fighting. We got to really get to see that different style of martial arts, you know. But also we got to see the reinforcements of his rules. Ben Affleck, his rules. Batman's rules. You do not kill. And you do not use guns. Ben Affleck. Which is what I'm happy that Robert Pattinson didn't break. Batman's rule of not killing. And yeah, that's what I enjoyed about the movie. It's my initial thoughts. Chris, I'm gonna give you a break here. Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna talk. Yeah, that's a good question, Chris, about the plot of the movie. I think the plot of the movie, well, having Riddler as the villain. No offense to Jim Carrey, that was hilarious, but we really got to see Riddler really using his clues and his brain to his advantage throughout the whole entire movie. I really thought it was very clever, but also even not just clever, but also seeing how dark it was, you know, and his motives behind everything that's been going on in Arkham. Well, Gotham, sorry. Arkham is the prison. Gotham is the city. But yeah, I really enjoy that aspect of really using the clues, and like they had no idea who he was. Like they really had to wait until the end. Which is nice to see that, like, even though we knew at the end we'll see him, it was more about like, how are they going to solve this? How is everything going to connect together? Which was the very interesting part of this plot, is just that, like, you need to really pay attention to see how everything is going to connect with, you know, the sins of the city, and how he is affected by these sins, and how you know, rich Bruce Wayne isn't really an orphan, you know, and like, we can see the corruption of the city and see how money moves, and the underground. It really laid a really nice foundation of what the underground does take part in Gotham. Especially with, like, you know, we're seeing the Falcones, the Penguin, you know, and just seeing how everything is just run through this underground scene where even cops are being bought off. You know, we saw it in Christian Bale's Batman, you know, like cops were corrupted, and we got to see it again here, but we saw it in a more elaborate and brilliant way that I appreciate from this Batman movie. And it was good because it laid a strong foundation that I know that they could continue afterwards, right? They could continue with using the Penguin. They could continue with using either, spoiler alert, bringing the Joker, you know, with running the scenes, you know, underground, and seeing how that can go. They could bring Two-Face in if they really wanted to. there's a lot that they can do with this, especially with the underground scene, with this mafia style that's like corrupted the city, you know, which is really good because, you know, it's either Batman versus the villains in terms of who's going to own Gotham, which is, you know, a sense like a lot of the comics, you know, Batman's fighting for Gotham, fighting for justice, fighting for making sure that everything is the way it's, you know, the way that his parents intended to be in this place, that it could be a, you know, this growing society, this safe haven in a sense. But then you have villains trying to take over. So I really enjoy the plot that way, especially with the Riddler being crazy and smart and really wanting to know Batman, and even saying like, dude, I gave you more credit than I thought. Like, I thought you were this intelligent guy. Your rumors, I guess your rumors are not real. But even I enjoyed that part of the plot because it really set a strong foundation for not just this movie, but for the future. Break, 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 break. You can cut this out. Yeah, some of the dislikes of the movie. I'm just gonna say it here. Batman's not Superman. Yeah, Batman is not Superman, guys. So stop making them. This movie, this is the one thing I would say about the movie, is my dude got blown up, shot up, lit a grenade on, and bazookaed on, and he still lived. Last time I checked, Batman isn't Superman. You know, like, he may have a bulletproof vest, but that vest cannot take all those bullets that this guy took. I ain't gonna lie, that was too much. That's the one thing I will say that I didn't like. In the end, like the big fighting scene at the end, you know, when Gotham's going underwater and he's facing all the, I guess, Riddler's like henchmen and stuff like that. Like, he took too many gunshots, you know, and I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if that was just them trying to make it like, you know, exciting, but it was just OD. You know, my dude literally took a whole blast from a shotgun, like impact, right? Like, yeah, that was, that to me was a little OD. It was cool in the beginning. I'm not gonna lie, when he got shot and he was still like walking, that was really cool. I'm not gonna lie, but I think it was a little excessive at the end. I know a lot of people are gonna not like the movie time, but I was fine with it. I mean, I'd rather have a long movie than an hour movie, to be honest. I'm trying to think anything I disliked. I guess, no, I kind of liked his hair. I ain't gonna lie. I don't like it in the front. I was gonna say his hair, but his hair was kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, I mean, the shots were the only thing that to me was kind of like, ugh, too much, bruh. But overall, like, I really can't really complain. Yeah, so my rating for the movie, or my number that I would give it out of 10, I would definitely give it a 9. I think this movie is a fantastic beginner for Batman. We're not getting there like, you know, his dad died and all this other stuff. Like, we already know that his parents died. We're getting more involved with Batman himself, and his actual character, you know, being this vigilante in the sense, you know, trying to save Gotham, and, you know, the struggles that he has, you know, of like, you know, of wanting to save the city, you know. I love how Catwoman says it, like, she's like, yo, run away with me, like, this city is not going to get better, and he still believes that it can change. And seeing his growth, like, I think this is a really great Batman movie. It's very refreshing to get a Batman movie, especially from what we saw from Ben Affleck. I don't know what DC's planning to do. Maybe they just take this as a solo movie and they just do their own trilogy with just Batman. I'll be fine with that. How does it fit into the universe? I don't know. Time will tell, you know what I mean? But yeah, I give it a 9. I think Robert Pattinson, you really shocked me, and I'm happy you did. I'm actually happy that you're Batman, which I didn't think I was gonna say, but I am. So keep doing your thing, bro. I appreciate that. But yeah, I give it a 9. I definitely think people need to go watch it. You know, I think everybody is kind of like, oh, Robert Pattinson. But I think you need to watch it. You should watch it. You should watch it. I think you should watch it. But, yeah. But, yeah, guys. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I know you guys are holding it down. It's your boy, Luis. I'm out.